Hi. So, lot of media talks about New Caledonia, which is a French territory. I will say basically a French occupied territory uh, because it was occupied. It was annexed in 1853 by the orders of Napoleon III of France. Anyway, uh, there are riots going on, and I'll tell you the reason why riots are going on and what are the geopolitical talks going on. But I'll like to give you a brief history about this archipelago in the Pacific. In 1853, this archipelago of New Caledonia was annexed by France on the orders of Emperor Napoleon III, and in 1946 it became overseas territory of France. And if you look at the era of 1980s, there were independence movements going on in this archipelago by the natives of the land, and it led to a lot of violence. And then in 1988 Matignon accords were signed. Then after that, in 1998, 10 years later, Naumia accords were also signed, and there it was talked about independence referendum, and three independence referendum took place. One took place in 2018, in which 56.6% people favored voted in favor of France. Then it took place in 2020, in which 53% of the population, total population, voted in favor of France. Then it took place, this one is controversial, it took place in 2021. Exact date was 12th of December 2021, when the uh, archipelago was just evolving from corona, and they were mourning their dead, and they were talking about their culture, and the locals were saying that our culture does not allow us to vote and go for referendum at this time, because we are mourning for our dead people who lost their lives during coronavirus, the COVID-19. But the French government in Paris, it insisted, and they went for referendum on 12th of December 2021, and the native population of the archipelago boycotted it, and they didn't went for voting. And the whites, I will purposefully using the word whites, the Europeans went for voting, and this time 96.5% people favored France in the voting. So look at the dip in voting. In 2018 it was 56%, then in 2020 it was 53%. Then when the local population boycotted, it became 96.5% in favor of France. The total population is not very much, it's just 271,000 plus, in which the local people who are known as Kanaks, these Canucks are 41.2%, Europeans are 27.2%, and others are something around 31%. Now, whole problem, these rioting and all this violence has erupted primarily due to a controversial decision made by the French government. The French parliament has actually voted to change the territory's constitution, allowing French residents who lived in New Caledonia for 10 years to vote in provincial elections. I think before that, the constitution said that those who were living since 98 or 99 can only vote. So this move has sparked unrest among the indigenous Kanak community and those people who want independence, who fear that it will dilute their political powers and influence. And actually, these people are saying that they will become like the natives of Australia, and they will lose their political power in their own land. And the Kanak community and their supporters see this change as a threat to their autonomy and move to maintain French control over this territory. And due to this, all these tensions are going on. Now, if you look at the distance between Paris and New Caledonia, it's 16,960 kilometers away from France, mainland France. So it is, I'll say that it is a colonial project which is still going on. That they may call it their territory. Constitutionally, definitely it is their territory. And but the natives are resisting this move of change of the constitution, which will definitely dilute their powers. And actually, the native people of the land, those people, they are basically black people, and they are somewhat second class. Why? Because they are not having those opportunities, that amount of finance, the unemployment rate is very high. So their youth are actually protesting. And Paris has actually banned TikTok, not other platforms. I'm not saying that I am not opposed at all to ban any social media platform to control riots. But when India does the same, let it be in Kashmir, let it be anywhere else where rioting is there, or during the farmers protest, these European countries are first to preach us lessons. But when push come to their shove, and we are doing to control rights in our own country, they are doing all these things, banning the social media platforms to control right on the territory which belongs to other indigenous people. India is indigenous of Indians, and Indian government is doing to maintain law and order. But these people are doing these things 16,000 kilometers away from their mainland. But there is even no kind of murmur from Brussels or Washington or those people in the West who always preach India, that why are you banning internet, why are you banning social media. So this is a blatant kind of hypocrisy of West. Then it was reported by First Post of India, and it is a big platform, and a very good geopolitical platform, which says that they have also, the French government has accused Azerbaijan and Russia for all this chaos going on there. Now, Russia, it has to be brought everywhere. Putin has to be made a villain. It is they have made it mandatory that behind every mishap of them, Russia has to be there. But now, when if they join Azerbaijan and Russia, see, Azerbaijan and Russia are not close, and they are joining these two things. So this itself is a contradiction. But this rioting is taking place, and people have lost lives. I wish peace should prevail in every part of the world, because I am from the land of Gandhi